So how do you think about getting a critical mass of people to transition away from Web 2 social and to move on to something like Zion? Because that is such an important feature, and it's kind of locking in people to traditional systems because of the power of that network effect.
So my thesis generally is that creators, influencers, people that are developing the content for these centralized platforms are the critical element of any social network. So our proposition to creators is that for the first time, you can actually build your mansion on sovereign land. Because in centralized systems, they're building a mansion in someone else's backyard without a rental agreement. You have no idea what will happen. It could be turned off anytime. They don't own anything. But in this new world, they actually can read, write, and own. And so our proposition to creators, which is why my partner, for example, JP Sears, reaches over 6.5 million people, our cap table, and we'll be kind of releasing that over the next few weeks, are some of the most influential people in the world. And they have massive following. Over 50 million people follow our cap table, which is amazing. And so our mission is to say, hey, these individuals want to build sovereign social experiences. So if we can go to the creators and say, hey, you can finally own this. Like Zion will be the first social network owned by creators, for creators. And I think that's our proposition to the world, is saying for the first time, it's not going to be Silicon Valley tech people owning this thing. It's like, no, creators own this. And it's built for creators by creators. And so I think that's the thing that we have. And the way that the payments will move is, again, through Lightning. It's not through a centralized broker. Zion as a company is not a centralized messaging broker. We're not a centralized payment broker. None of the things that we do is centralized. It's all using the Lightning Network, or it's using decentralized messaging, or it's using decentralized data storage, all of those elements. And it's 100% open source. So I think the differentiator of how we build the network effect is to build an atomic network with the most powerful creators. And that is our strategy.
That's really interesting. Now, when you think about designing a social network, if we look to the precedent set by Web 2, we have a lot of different structures across the apps, right? So on Twitter, it's you have a select number of people who are really influential blasting stuff out into the world. On Facebook, it's more of a closer friends. It's kind of like a group, a community, I guess, a little bit. On something like Telegram or WhatsApp, it's a chat specific to a topic or a group of people. How do you think about Zion's positioning there, and which part of that social media stack, or maybe multiple parts, do you want to kind of play a role in?
Our role is all around communities. Communities is the focus around what we do. And within the second layer of our product is conversation. So you have a community, let's say the JP Sears Awaken Warriors community. And within that, JP, his content are threads of conversations about what's happening in the world, driven through comedy. He talks about freedom through comedy. And that could be a video. So the way that Zion works is it's nested in these two ways. It's that you're going to join a community, and then within a community, a creator can start a conversation. And then there's a thread around that conversation of what's relevant. He does, like, once a week, he does a news show that talks about what's going on in the news. So I think the focus is we want to help creators develop digital communities. It's not a place that you just post a piece of content. It's where you want to gather communities. How do you gather the individuals that are around this thesis of you as a creator? And we believe right now that's very bifurcated, right? So you have, for example, you'll go somewhere to listen to a podcast, and you go somewhere to chat about it. Then you'll go watch some YouTube videos, and then maybe you go to an Instagram. It's like it's all over the place. So it's fragmented is a good word. Yeah. So we want to bring that into one environment, and then that environment is tied to a digital identity and a wallet. Effectively, Zion is a identity and payment system in one. And the identity that we use is a decentralized identity system. And then the payment method we use is Lightning and Bitcoin. So we're trying to build across the standards that are going to be the future of the internet. Like, what's really important is, like, Zion's not building its own blockchain. Zion's not building its own token. We're not doing any of these things because we want to use the most prolific money ever created. And we want to use the internet for what it's good for. We're not trying to go create another shitcoin to establish that, because we believe Lightning and Bitcoin is the money of the internet.